Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Like always, I appreciate you stopping back by and watching my videos. My last video was talking about marrying in the Philippines and how I wouldn't do it because you can't get a divorce. You put yourself in a bad situation. And in some of my videos, I don't make myself very clear. I just come off the hip, let it rip. I ain't got no script. I don't have a teleprompter in front of me. Most of the time I don't have any notes. I just talk what's on my mind. A lot of times I get off these videos after I've uploaded them. I realize I should have said this and I didn't say that, and I apologize for that. But I thank all of you as my friend, my subscribers, you guys that comment. All I'm trying to do is give you a little heads up and a little help, get you thinking anyway about situations that might come up, so you'll have an advance notice of how to maybe you should deal with it. I got one of my new friends here that posted something on my last video. Michael Tucker 5774. He said, "Hey, my friend, you're wrong about being stuck if you're married in the Philippines. You can go back to the States and divorce them." He's absolutely right. You can do that. I probably didn't make it very clear what I was trying to say. So that's what I want to talk about today. So grab your beer, pull your seat up, let's get started. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. So sometimes I don't make myself very clear. This is what I was trying to say. You guys that decide you want to just get up, move, for whatever reason, your age, or you're not happy in your country, you want to decide to go move to the Philippines and find a wife, get married, can you just marry her, and if things don't work out, just go back to your country and get a divorce, and when the divorce is completed, you can just fly back to the Philippines and remarry? I don't think that's how it works. Now, I could be completely wrong. And I've seen some comments that's got me confused as well. I went to some lawyer sites, read some information, and the laws in the Philippines is very confusing. But I just don't think you can go to the Philippines, live there, get married like this shit ain't working out. I'm gonna go fucking back to the United States or Britain, get a divorce. After a year, divorce is approved. I'm gonna go back to the Philippines and remarry again. I don't think you can do it like a visa run, a tourist visa run, where you just cross the border and come back, start all over, and get married again. I don't think that's how it works. Now, I could be wrong, because I'm confused myself. And I told you guys if I was wrong, I'd make another video on it. And I'll be honest with you, I ain't sure what the deal is. I ain't sure. But I don't think you can just run back and forth across the border and get divorced and remarried. So I found some information I want to share with you guys. Now, this is just stuff I've read. I don't know if this is factual, but I want to give you guys the best information I possibly can for you guys living there. I'm not talking about the guys like, well, shit don't work out, I'll just go back home and get a divorce. I'll just remarry in the United States. Yeah, you can do that. You can go back to Guam and get divorced, go back to the United States, get a divorce. But is it accepted in the Philippines? Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not exactly sure you can just keep going back every couple of years and remarry if it don't work out. So let's get into this and talk about some things that I found. All right, this guy said, married in the Philippines, divorced in the United States. Okay, I've been trying to find the exact same situation I'm in, but I cannot seem to find the exact answer, and I keep reading mixed answers even from lawyers. So looking for someone that's been in the same situation here, in this situation. I understand what he's saying. So he's saying, I'm a U.S. citizen. I married my ex-wife in the Philippines, and it was registered there. So he got married in the Philippines. It's registered in the Philippines that they're married. In the Philippines. 10 years later, I divorced my ex in the state of Oregon in the United States because she got pregnant by another man. I understand that. Now I'm in a new relationship with another Filipina. I met while I was living there for 2 years when I was still married. Me and the new girl want to get married but live in the Philippines permanently. So my question is, or concern is, I read that my divorce in the U.S. allows me to remarry, but my ex will need a judicial recognition of foreign divorce. Now, it's looking like he met this girl in Oregon, I guess, but she's Filipino, and they want to go to the Philippines and get married and live in the Philippines. But he's married to another woman in the Philippines, even though he's divorced with her from the United States. So that's the question. See, this stuff gets real tricky. There's not an absolute answer. Now, I've seen a lot of people's comments, but that's not, I don't know if that's factual or not. And I'm not sure about this myself, and maybe I shouldn't even have spoke on it. All I can tell you is you can't get a divorce in the Philippines. If you're living in the Philippines, you want to live there and stay there, and you get married, unless you get an annulment, you still married that person. And if you split up for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and you decide to date somebody else, you're committing adultery, because you're still married. There's no way out of it except for adultery. You can get out of it if you go back to your country and get a divorce, but can you go back to the Philippines and start over after you get divorced, get my papers, and get married again? I'm not sure about that. This says, were a marriage between a Filipino citizen and a foreigner validity separated, and a divorce is therefore validity obtained abroad by the alien spouse, capacitating him or her to remarry. The Filipino spouse has one more step to have capacity to remarry under Philippine law after valid foreign recognition is obtained. The law doesn't seem very clear. I know I could remarry legally in the U.S. That's what I'm trying to say. You can do that. Or other country, but am I allowed to remarry in the Philippines? If you get married in the Philippines and you go to the United States or your country and get divorced, are you still allowed to remarry if you go back to the Philippines? Do I need a foreign recognition of divorce if I want to remarry in the Philippines? I have asked 5 family lawyers in the Philippines, and I get 2 different answers evenly. Some say yes, you need to say no, as long as you have a foreign divorce decree when trying to remarry. Some say yes, you need. Some say no, as long as you have your foreign divorce decree when trying to remarry. So see, there's a confusion here. You go to one lawyer and they'll say, well, if you got a divorce in the United States, you come back to the Philippines and get remarried again. Some say, no, you can't. You can't just go across the border, get divorced, come back and remarry. You have to get an annulment. So what's right, what's wrong? I don't know. One guy said, true, but if you want to remarry another Filipino and you only divorced in the U.S., you still required to annul that marriage because you were still married in the Philippines. That's what I was trying to say. Therefore, you cannot marry her unless she's living in the U.S. as well. Now, if you meet a Filipino in the U.S. and she's a citizen legally there, and you're married to a Filipino, you get divorced, she can get divorced, you can get married in the U.S. But there's one thing about it now, you can't really bring a Filipina to your country if she's married on a 90-day visa and marry her, because she has to show the embassy in the United States a certificate of no marriage. And if she presents that to the embassy, immigration, and they say you're married, they're like, well, you can't come here in the United States to get married illegally. You're already married. So I think a lot of people is trying to get their married Filipina girlfriend in the United States and get them divorced so they can marry them. That's fraud. That's illegal. If you can get it done, it's still illegal, and she could end up later losing her green card or citizenship because she came here fraudulently. So let's go on a little bit farther. My friend Mike Valdez, 4895, said, you're right on the marriage, but the online marriage Utah deal is not acceptable in the Philippines. But the law is really messed up. Yeah, the law is really messed up in the Philippines. So, yeah, I know the Utah law is not accepted in the Philippines. To be accepted in the Philippines, you got to get married in the Philippines. But that was the point I was trying to make across. Hell, if she wants to get married and have a paper, hell, I marry her online. Do it in Utah or something online, live stream it. I give her a paper, she's married, but I still won't be held accountable and won't be married to her forever. Or I would just have I don't know. I don't know. I don't see myself getting married. It would be a fake marriage. We'd have a marriage, but might have a wedding with no priest or something. Just have a ceremony. I don't know. And I'm just telling you guys. It's too complicated. It's too much damn trouble to get married in the Philippines. If she had to get married, you need to bring her to your country to get married. That's what I would do. That way, if things hit the fan, you can go back and get divorced. It won't be registered in the Philippines. There won't be nothing in the Philippines about. You're going to have to get an annulment. You just override all that shit. So that's what I was trying to say, and I apologize to my friends out there, y'all guys, for being confusing. Maybe I should study a little bit more on what I was trying to say. So, bottom line is, you can get married in the Philippines, and if your country allows it, you can fly back to your country and get a divorce. You're divorced. But can you go back to the Philippines and live again and remarry another Filipina? Or do you have to have an annulment to marry another Filipina? Now, I know the Filipina, if you marry her in her country, she can't marry again unless she gets an annulment. It don't matter if you're a foreigner or not. She's got to have an annulment from you before she can get married. She's stuck, even though you're a foreigner. But can the foreigner just fly out, do a damn divorce run, get a divorce, and come back and marry another Filipino? I don't think it works like that. And I could be completely wrong. I think it's fraudulent. You probably get yourself in trouble. What did this one say? Some American got done for adultery as he was living in the Philippines. He went back to the States to file for divorce, but he was still living in the Philippines with his new partner. He got remarried when the divorce came through. And his ex-wife in the Philippines filed for adultery charges. So he was classed as living in the Philippines, and his divorce wasn't valid. Now, these are just comments I'm getting that I'm seeing, and that makes sense. He went back to the United States, got a divorce. Well, he's divorced in the United States. He can remarry in the United States. But you can't, I don't think you can just fly back in the Philippines, say, I got my divorce papers, I'm going to remarry another Filipina. I don't think you can do that shit. And I'm going to tell you, if you do that to a woman in the Philippines, and she finds out, she's going to put all hell down on you. If she finds out you come back with a divorce paper and live with another woman, you put yourself in a bad situation. You can go to prison for adultery. So listen, I'm going to give you, this is my advice. I don't know who the hell to talk to if they are going to tell you something different. But you need to find out for a fact if you want to protect yourself and say, listen, if I get married in the Philippines, can I go back and get divorced in my country and go back? You need to find out. Because it may not work. And you may be stuck forever. And you want to live in the Philippines, but now you can't have a girlfriend no more, legally. You can't get married again legally. So you're stuck in the Philippines. You might as well go back to your own country because you, legally, you can't be with nobody. So I hope I cleared that up. I know I probably said the same fucking thing 2 or 3 times. I just want to clear myself up. But I want you to know I really appreciate you watching my videos, and I appreciate all the comments because they brought up some good questions. Those guys brought up some good questions, and they need to be talked about. So you need to talk to somebody, a lawyer that knows what the hell's going on in the Philippines before you, if you don't want to put yourself in a bad situation. So all right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for liking. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate you guys. And like I said before, I want to give you my honest opinion as a best friend. I'm talking to you just like I tell my son. If my son was, one of my children was sitting here, I got 3 boys. I tell them the same thing I'm telling you. You better make sure you know what the fuck you doing before you get into it. You're going to get in a bad situation. You know? Alright, guys. I'll get you another video out soon. And you take care of yourself and have fun. Bye.